Whether it's the roads you drive on every day or the rights you have online, the US government is involved in your life in a million different ways. But how often do we stop and think about how it all actually works? In this explainer, we're going to go beyond the daily headlines and tackle a really big question. Why does understanding civics matter so much, especially right now?
So, here's our game plan. We're going to start by putting you right at the center of this whole democracy thing. Then, we'll take a look under the hood at the system's blueprint. After that, we'll explore that tricky balance between our rights and our responsibilities, navigate the sometimes wild political landscape, and finally, figure out how to turn all this knowledge into actual, meaningful action.
All right, first things first. Let's start with the single most important component in any democracy. And that's you. Seriously. Before we get into the weeds with systems and structures, we have to get our heads around the crucial role of the citizen.
And look, it's a totally fair question. I think a lot of us have probably asked this at some point. With everything else we've got going on, why should we carve out time to learn about civics? It can feel like this huge, distant thing, right? But the answer is way more personal than you might think.
This quote, man, it just nails it. It reframes the whole idea of being informed. It's not some hobby for history buffs. It's a core requirement for a democracy to even function. The system isn't some machine that just runs by itself. It's powered by us, by the people, and our collective understanding of what's going on.
And that's really the simple, powerful truth of it all. You're not just watching from the sidelines. You are an active member. Learning about government isn't like studying some far-off country. It's like learning the owner's manual for your own community, for your own life.
Okay, so if we're all members of this club, what are the rules? What's the layout? Let's dig into the system's blueprint, the actual design of American government.
It's so easy for us to just take this whole system for granted. But what the founders put together, it was actually revolutionary. They created this really unique, delicate balance of power that literally became a model for modern democracies all over the world.
The core of this whole blueprint is that famous system of checks and balances. Power is split into 3 equal branches. You've got the legislative branch, they're the ones making the laws. Then the executive branch comes in to carry them out, and finally, the judicial branch is there to interpret those laws. So for example, Congress can pass a law, but wait, the president can veto it. And even then, the Supreme Court can step in and say, nope, that's unconstitutional. It's this constant push and pull, and it's all designed so no one part of the government gets too powerful.
All right, so we've got the structure down. Now let's talk about where you fit in. And look, being a citizen, it's totally a two-way street. It's not just about what you get, it's also about what's expected of you. Think of it like a ledger, right? This visual just lays it out perfectly. On one side of the book, you have your privileges, all those rights we hold dear, like freedom of speech, all that good stuff from the Bill of Rights. But on the other side, you've got your obligations. Things like, paying taxes or doing jury duty. These are the things that are absolutely essential to make the whole system work and to protect everyone's rights.
Okay, so we've got the government structure, we've got the citizen's role. Now let's jump into the really dynamic and sometimes messy world of politics. This is the arena where all these ideas and beliefs clash to shape what our country actually does.
And at the very heart of all that noise is this one big idea, political ideology. Basically, it's your personal roadmap, right? It's the framework of ideas and values you use to decide what the government should be doing and what it should stay out of. If you can grasp this, a lot of the political debates out there start to make a whole lot more sense.
So what we see as politics is really this constant mix of different forces at play. You've got the big political parties, you have all these competing ideologies bumping up against each other, and of course, our own personal beliefs get thrown into the mix. It all plays out in the public debates we see and hear every single day.
This brings us to the final piece of the puzzle, and honestly, it's the most important one. We've talked about the why and the how. Now, let's talk about what you actually do with all this information to become an active participant.
Because that's the real point here, isn't it? This isn't just some academic exercise. The real power of understanding civics is knowing how to translate that knowledge into real, meaningful participation.
So, what's the big payoff for getting informed? Well, you get to really understand your rights. You grasp your obligations. You can participate in our democracy way more effectively. And hey, let's be honest, as a nice little bonus, you'll definitely be more interesting to talk to at parties. Can't hurt, right?
And that leaves us with this one big question, a question I'm going to leave with you. The whole point of this American experiment, right from the very beginning, has been to form a more perfect union. It's not finished, it's an ongoing project. So the real question is, knowing what you know now, what part are you going to play in that project?